Hi there! Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my little independent bookstore book haul. This past weekend was Independent Bookstore Day, so the hubby and I went around and kind of went bar hopping, but book hopping instead. So I'm just going to talk to you guys about some of the independent bookstores we go to here in Chicago and show you some of the goodies I got from them. So if you're interested in that, just keep on watching. Okay, so before I begin, I just want to give a shout out to a bookstore that we normally go to quite frequently, but we didn't go to this weekend just because we went to a new neighborhood. So we normally go to the place called the Bookseller. It's pretty close by to us, kind of, but this is normally where we go to pick up books. It has like a pretty good selection of books. It's on a smaller end for a bookstore, but it's still a pretty cool place, and I just wanted to give it a shout out in this video. But for this weekend in particular, we went outside of our current area, and I think we went to a place called Andersonville. I'm not really sure. I'm still learning all the neighborhoods around here, but it's by the Swedish American History Museum or whatever. So that street right there, I think it's Clark Street, but editing me will double check. So that street's got quite a few independently owned bookstores on that street. So for that day, apparently there was like an organized event going on that we didn't really know about, because people were coming around with like stickers, getting stamps and stuff, and they were getting stamped, and we didn't do that because we didn't sign up for anything. We just decided to do this on our own, and then it turned out that there was already like an organized event going on, so that's on us. But we started with this one place called Uncharted Books, and we went down the street from there. So we started with Uncharted Books. It is a independently used bookstore. That place was so busy. We didn't get anything from there just because, um, fun fact, I'm not so great with crowds, and that store was super busy for the amount of space it was in. It was really cute. Had some really like vintage book collectibles there, so I highly recommend that. If you're into used books and stuff, they have some pieces that like are more for reading, and then some that are more like kind of like collectibles, like old vintage sci-fi books. But it was pretty cool in there. So yeah, check out Uncharted Books if you want to. Okay, so most of my haul actually came from Women and Children's First. This is a feminist, independently owned bookstore that primarily focuses on, you guessed it, women and children. And this is the tote bag I got from this place. I really like this place. I thought it was awesome. I got 3 books from there. So let me show you what I got. The first one, I got another book by Silvia Moreno Garcia. So I've read Mexican Gothic, and then I read Velvet Was the Night. And so this is my 3rd book of hers, and this is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau. A lot of her stories are like historical fiction. This one leans a little bit more sci-fi, but they all kind of take place in Mexico. So this one she is the daughter of like a mad scientist who makes like hybrid monsters and stuff. So I just got started this. I'm like 1 chapter in. So I will let you guys know what I think about it when I finish this book. But yeah, I like her writing. Her books are pretty good, so I figured I'd pick this one up too. So the second book I got is something that's been on my list for a hot minute, but I remembered the plot, but I never remembered the name. So do you ever do that? I feel like that's probably more common than we think. I don't know. But anyway, so I got this book, Bright Young Women, and it is a fictional piece, but it is about like a woman who survives like a mass shooting at her sorority. Yeah, I don't know if it's mass shooting. It might just be like a serial killer situation. But it's about the person who survived, and they investigate that for themselves. So I saw this, I think, originally on a With Cindy video. I like watching her book reviews, and I think she really liked this, so that's why I picked it up. But yeah, this is the second thing I got. So we have 2 fictional pieces, and then the last book I got is The Language of Fanaticism. Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism. Yeah, this is a nonfiction book, and this has been kind of like on my radar for a hot minute. But this is a nonfiction book examining the language that cults use in their their goals to be cults, and also compares certain language used like for social media influencers and fitness gurus and all those people, and it's like a compare contrast situation to see how those sorts of online groups use the same sort of language as like cults and stuff. So I'm very interested to read this one. This is like more of like for the nerd in me, pretty much. Um, because I love true crime, but I also love the idea of language. And okay, so obviously I'm a writer, right? So I love language, right? And I tend to write things that are darker in nature. So I am like interested in crimes and cults and all that sorts of stuff because I feel like it's like uh the the psychology is fascinating to me. Like I don't know. I read nonfiction books about psychology for fun. Um, I actually have one that I'm working on right now that I don't know if I'm going to finish or not. But anyway, so I love nonfiction books. I also studied like diplomacy and basically how you maintain a relationship with country to country, but also like citizens to country as well. And my whole thesis was trying to talk about was talking about how governments use the internet to manipulate people's opinion about them and try to further their needs to have citizens domestically and internationally act on behalf of certain causes, right? So it's like for me, it's like I'm really interested in this idea of manipulation and like how people get manipulated. And I feel like this book kind of encompasses a lot of my interests. And of course, like I'm a social media girl. I Social media is fascinating for me, like how it affects us socially, psychologically, all this stuff, especially post pandemic. So there's a lot of interests I have that can be wrapped up in this sort of book. So I'm very excited to start this too. I'll let you guys know. I know normally do like my what I read in a month type series. Um, so of course I'll do that again coming up here soon. But yeah, these will probably be included in a future video as well. Yeah, after that, I just wanted to mention another store we went to. I didn't buy anything from the store, but I really wanted to, but my husband did. And it's Alley Cat Comics. This one is a little bit harder to find on that street because you literally have to go down this like tiny alley to get to it. But once you're inside the store, it's really cool. It's got like comic books, it's got manga and collectibles and like all sorts of stuff in there too. And Douglas bought a copy of Death Note because I think he wants to start collecting that. I saw some cute manga in there too that I wanted to give a shot, but I felt like I already spent my book budget for that day on the books I mentioned before at the feminist bookstore, so I didn't go into Alley Cat Comics. But yeah, but it's a great store and you should really check it out. There was one more bookstore we were going to go into, and technically it was like a cafe and bookstore. I can't remember the name right now, but editing me will put the name on screen and show a picture for you guys. That was going to be on our destination as well, but we decided to eat someplace else instead and then like bounce back home. But also, if depending on like what we found or didn't find or whatever, we were going to go to this cafe because it also is a bookseller as well. We were going to go here after that. But we just didn't make it that day. But I just wanted to point out that this place does exist and it's in the same general vicinity as this area. So yeah, that's it. That's my little book haul. Thank you so much for watching. And I just want to say too, thank you for all the love on my last video. I made a video about cozy horror and it really popped off and I got a bunch of subscribers from that. So thank you very much, very, very much for that. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't watched that video yet, go check it out. Apparently people like it. So that's always a good thing. And yeah, if you want to see more bookish videos from me, feel free to like this video, comment down below, share this with a friend, or subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please. All of that engagement would really help me out a lot. And until next time, thanks. Bye.